Hello students, today's video is for BBA second year students and we will discuss the subject called Business Environment and Business Law BEPL. Dear students, so far we have completed in Unit 2 the meaning of business environment, the characteristics of business environment, the significance or importance of business environment and the elements of business environment, which is a very important topic and which requires 3 videos for completing the topic elements of a business environment. We have discussed the whole topic in 3 different videos. I have already given you the notes. Just go through the notes very carefully so that it will be very easier to you. It is a complete long question which carries of a 16 marks. So the elements of business environment, the types of business environment or the factors influencing the business environment, all are having the same meaning. We have also completed that. Now talking about in Unit 2, one of the important aspect still remaining under Unit 2 and the name of the topic is interrelationship between business and environment. The interrelationship between the business and environment. Dear students, as we have discussed the different elements of a business environment, so from this it is quite clear that there always incurs a huge amount of relationship between the business and its environment, because we have already seen that every business passes through various environmental forces, that may be internal, that may be external, that may be internal, that may be external. External forces may include different aspects like macro factors, micro factors. So business anyhow going to face a lot of environmental forces, or you can say lot of environmental factors. So in order to bring them into existence, a better relationship always exists between the business and its environment. So what are those interrelationship between the business and its environment? What are those? Let's discuss them one by one. First point includes business and economic environment. Under point number 1, we will see how the business and economic environment are correlated to each other. How the business and economic environment. See, dear students, business always operates within the economy. Let's proceed. Beyond the economy, the business cannot go. It has to operate within the country's economy. So business, in order to make the profit, in order to adjust with the economic conditions always adjust its activities accordingly. Always adjust its activities accordingly. For example, if the economy is in the boom stage, if the economy is operates in the boom stage, it means the economy continuously increases, then business so if the economy is in the boom stage, if the economy is in boom stage or in a growing stage, then the business, in order to maximize the profit, will always try to increase the production level. Will always try to increase the production level. Always try to increase the production level, because by increasing the productivity, the sales volume can easily be increased, and by selling maximum amount of goods in the market, because the economy is in the boom stage, so the organization can easily able to make profit, because we have already seen that the ultimate objective of any organization is to maximize the profit and minimize the cost of production. So if the due to some economical factors, if the economy supports, then the business always try to create maximum amount of opportunity by increasing the productivity. On the other hand, you will say that when the economy is in declining stage, when the economy is in a, what you can say, declining stage, if continuously the demand for different goods or services continuously decrease in the market, then the business will start reducing the production. Just the opposite, start reducing the production. So it will lead to reduction in the production level. So once the economy declines, it means the demand for goods or services in the economy continuously falling down. Then the business, in order to not suffer a huge amount of loss, will always try to reduce its production level, because there is not huge amount of demand for the goods that has been produced. So during the stage, the sales will definitely high. So since the sales are high, the every business, in order to protect themselves, will start reducing the production level. Now, in another way, the business and economy is always interrelated in another way also. How? The business can create artificial scarcity of the goods also. Business, if it want to take maximum benefit from the economy, then the business can easily create artificial scarcity of the goods. artificial scarcity of the goods. By not providing the goods at appropriate time, by increasing the production, by getting the finished goods, but by not disposing the finished goods to the ultimate market, then the business can always create artificial scarcity of goods. And as you all know that if the supply side from the suppliers decreases, it means the sufficient amount of goods is not coming to the general market, then definitely there will be increase in the demand level. When there is high demand and less amount of supply of goods, then automatically it will lead to increase in the price level. Because very simple, you must have studied in your first year courses also by discussing the subject of economics, law of demand. When the demand increases and the supply reduces, automatically it will lead to price increase. So when the price of different goods and commodities increases, then the business starts selling those goods that has been already been produced. Now they can also create some amount of extra profit also. But however, remember, this is not a fair means of a trade practice. Rather, we can say hoarding. This concept will come under hoarding, or the concept of hoarding, which is completely one of the, you can say, unfair means of a trade practice, and hence it is prohibited also. But still, if the business want, then in certain point of time they can create these things also. Many a times in the general market we are facing such kind of problems. In order to get some extra amount of money, generally the sellers in the market does not supply the goods, even if sufficient amount of stock is there, but still they are not supplying intentionally in order to create some extra amount of profit. So in this way we can say that the business and the economic environment are highly correlated to each other. I have already seen you three different situations, number 1, number 2 and number 3. I have already shown you three different situations how the business and economic environment are highly interrelated to each other. Coming to the second point, that is business and financial environment. How the business and financial environment are interrelated to each other. We will see that. Now, dear students, if the FIs, if the financial institutions from whom the business is doing business or taking the loans, because financial institutions are there to support or to assist the small and medium scale units in India. We have already seen with one case study also how the small and medium scale organizations usually influenced by the financial institutions. So financial institutions are there to support the small and medium units in India. So they provide financial assistance. But due to some reason, if the financial institutions from whom the business has already taken the money, increases the interest rate. Increases the interest rate. Now, once they increase their interest rate, then the business has to pay a high amount of interest for the loan amount. Then what will do? The business will look for other opportunities. Will look for other opportunities or other options. Will look for other options. Now, what are those other options? So the business can opt for various other options, like they can go for any particular bank, maybe nationalized or non-nationalized banks, for taking the loan amount, or they can also go for creditors for making arrangement of the money. They can also use their own savings, or which you can say the reserves and surplus under balance sheet. One item you must have been seen under the liabilities and capital side, or under the left side one item is there, that is reserve and surplus. That is nothing but the savings of the business. So they can also use their own savings for making arrangement of the loans. So the business, in order to become very rational, will always opt for those options who provide them the loan amount at a very low interest rate, at a very low amount of interest. They can only go to that particular institution only. Now, by doing this, they will force the business indirectly force the financial institutions to to decrease the interest rate. The business will automatically force the financial institutions for decreasing the IR interest rates, because they will convince it means the business will convince those financial institutions that there are other parties like banks, creditors, own savings, from which we can easily arrange for our loan. If you charge, it means if the financial institution will charge high amount of interest, then no business can take loan from them. So they force the financial institutions to decrease the interest rates. So you can say, in this manner, the business, in this way we can say that the business and the financial environment is closely interrelated with each other. Then we will discuss the next point, that is the relationship between business and micro environment. How the business and its micro environment are closely interrelated with each other. Dear students, as we all know, or we have already seen while discussing the different elements of micro environment, the various factors of micro environment includes its workers, includes its suppliers, or it may also include the shareholders. Now, the workers, from their perspective, always Now the work cost, which includes one of the important element of micro factors. Workers always demand for high wages. From their point of view, I am telling you, workers of any organization always try for high amount of wages. Similarly, the suppliers always look for or always demand for high prices for the goods being supplied by them, because suppliers always price, always charge, or always demand for high prices for the goods that they have been already supplied to our organization, so that their profits will increase. Talking about the third factor, which is the shareholders of the organization, which is also one of the important factor of micro environment. So the shareholders always demand for high dividend, high dividend. Now the business, in order to satisfy the needs of these different factors, always make a proper reconciliation of the demands, and after reconciliation, after proper analysis, the business will accordingly decide, the managers of the business will accordingly decide that whose demand should be fulfilled at what point of time. It all depends upon, or fulfillment of demands all depends upon the internal capability of the managers, that at what particular time which persons, which factors demand should be fulfilled. We cannot fulfill all the demands of different factors at a time. No doubt, the large firms can easily able to fulfill the demands of each and every factor, that is demands of worker, demands of supplier, demands of shareholders. But talking about medium and small scale units, they generally unable to fulfill the demands of each and every micro factor. Rather, they will make a proper reconciliation, and after reconciliation, whose demand which is justified, they should be paid high amount of rates. If the workers, it may be the suppliers, it may be the shareholders, or it may be some other persons or other factors which includes the micro factors, or which includes one of the integral part of your micro environment. Now, even the large firms also, I am not saying that large firms or big business units always fulfill all the demands. It is not always true. Even though they have the capability to fulfill all the demands of different persons, that is these factors, but still the big units again will reconcile, again will make proper analysis before fulfilling the demand. So in one way, we may also say that the large units or the medium units or the small units will always make proper reconciliation of different factors and have a proper balance. Now, on the other hand, if the business organization fails to fulfill any kind of demand, suppose one organization is there who is not able to fulfill any persons or any factors demand, neither the workers, neither the suppliers, nor the shareholders, any factors demands are not being fulfilled by the organization, then again a proper balance between the environment and business will not be possible. So in order to make a proper balance, the business must go or must always consider these micro factors also. In order to make proper analysis, or in order to make a proper balance, the business should always consider the various micro environment. So dear students, in this manner, the business and the micro environment are closely interrelated with each other. Now, the students, we can say that the business always considers certain other factors of the environment, like So the business at a point of time always considers various factors like taste and preferences of the consumer, technological changes, government policies. Government policies. So the business always consider the taste and preference of the consumers, the technological changes, the government policies, and always furnishes its result to these different persons by way of proper information, or we may say by way of annual reports. With the help of annual reports, the business, since closely interrelated with the taste and preferences of the consumer, the technological changes, the government policies, hence the business has to furnish proper information to its shareholders, to its customers, to the government by way of annual report. So these are the important elements of environment. So business and these factors are again highly interrelated. So we can say there is also a proper interrelationship or high degree of interrelationship exists between the business and its environment. Now I may also say another important analysis is the input and output analysis. Dear students, the business receives the input, maybe the raw material, from the environment. It receives the input from the environment, processes them or makes the production in the factory and produces the output. Hence, at every point of time, there should be a proper balance that must exist between the input and the output. If the business is unable to make a proper analysis between the input and output, then there will be unnecessary blockage of capital. So in order to maintain a good amount of capital, in order to manage the cash of the business, every business should properly go for the input and output analysis. It has to analyze in a very detailed manner what is the relationship between the input and its output, what is the demand for goods in the general market. Accordingly, the business will purchase the raw material by way of input, again processes them in the factory and produces the finished goods by way of output and send it to the general market for sales. So again, the business and environment, with the help of input and output relationship, are always closely interrelated with each other. Then the last factor, you may also say that SWOT analysis, that is strength, weakness, opportunity, threat. Every business has to go for proper SWOT analysis in order to convert the threats and opportunities. So a proper analysis regarding the weaknesses of the organization, regarding the strength of the organization, regarding the opportunities of the organization, as well as regarding the threats of the organization is highly interrelated. So the SWOT analysis is nothing but forms a major part of environment. So when the business is making SWOT analysis, it is nothing but it is making proper analysis of the environment or various environmental forces, or you may say various environmental factors. So by making SWOT analysis also, the business and the environment is highly interrelated with each other. So dear students, these are the 6 different points, or you can say 6 major points, where we able to know that how the interrelationship between the business and its environment exists. So every business is having a close interrelationship with its environment. That's it in today's video. Thank you.